Hi, Dharma Circle. Happy Wednesday. I'm Swati, the Embodied Dharma Coach, coming to you live here for a special class. As many of you have probably seen already, it's an exciting day today. Dharma Mentorship is officially open, and I'm going to share details about this very special spiritual and material business process that I offer. And it's also a class today all about creating your six-figure spiritual business and the 7 essential ingredients for this process. So I'm going to share with you some spiritual steps that must be in place, as well as the material steps, the practical steps that must be in place in order for you to create a truly successful 6+ figure business, to be scaling and growing, and yes, reaching those 10K plus months consistently. So you've been waiting for this, and you're an experienced healer. You know that you can do this already, but there's a part of you that is saying, why can't I crack the code? What is it? I've been an experienced healer with a successful business for so many years, and why have I not been able to crack the code on 10K plus months consistently? What is that? What's missing? You're probably wanting faster results. You want systems that work, and you want the guidance in order to make it happen. And specifically, yes, you want that spiritual support and the business support together. And you want someone who understands what Dharma truly means and soul purpose. And that's what's unique about my Dharma mentorship process. And also remember that a dharmic business model is very different than a career path. We are not talking about a career path. We're not talking about growing any old business and using any old business model. And this is why I say these are things that your business coach has never told you before. They may have some great business advice, but it doesn't fully apply to your dharmic business. And if you are not fully clear on what your dharma is, what your soul purpose is, what your contract is with the ancestors, then there's always going to be a gap with your material world success. That's why we need both. So I know you want more freedom, you want more time, you want more pleasure, you want more of the soul nourishment, and that's what is required. That's why it's required that we have special resources and tools for your dharmic business. That this is not just about material world success and growth, although I'm all for that. And if you are not wanting more money, if you think money is bad or evil, or there's something wrong with money, I can tell you right now, this group is not for you, because we know here in the Dharma Circle, and for those of us who want to continue to scale and grow, that money is sacred, and we treat it as such. It's life force energy. And that's all it is. So when I say make more money, what I really mean is more life force energy. Have access to more life force energy, more power in your body and in your realm. So that is not a bad thing, and it should never be a bad thing. So when we're talking about a dharmic business model, remember that this is both spiritual and material growth, success, prosperity, nourishment, pleasure, and joy. All of these components are included in your spiritual and material world success. This is also about increasing your power, strengthening your relationship with spirit, touching more lives in meaningful ways, continuing the legacy of your lineage and your ancestors, and perpetuating Dharma. And many of us believe that this is the time for this, that now is the time, that strengthening Dharma is really the only purpose right now on this planet that has meaning and importance. And if you are an experienced healer who wants to grow and expand, I want to invite you to consider that that's a sacred desire. It's a sacred desire, and I want to support you in growing and expanding so that you're nourished and the people that you work with, the lives that you touch, are also well nourished. So 7 secrets of a successful 6-figure business. And these are also things that your business coach did not tell you, has not told you. And you have probably done many courses already. You've probably done many trainings already. And there's probably a part of you that thinks that, wow, I still need more because I haven't figured it out yet. And I want to remind you that you are so close, that it's actually easier than you think. But we have to get the right things in place. We need to make sure that you are not trying to use a career path model, that you are truly aligned with your Dharma, your soul purpose, the reason why your ancestors sent you here, and what you are here to do to perpetuate the lineage gifts, as well as enhance the collective and to strengthen your relationship with your ancestors and grow as a soul and as a human. So, first of all, this is what makes the dharmic business different. Remember, this is a spiritual business, and it's rooted in the purpose of your soul and the contract that you have with your ancestors. And so this is not any old business. You know, you could throw something out there, make some money, and at least be making money. That's a career path. When we're talking about Dharma, this is not just about making money. It's not just about throwing some things out there that people need or want. And this is, and as I share more about your ideal client and who your people are, this is my reminder that the first priority is your soul nourishment, and everything must come from that place. And for some of you, that might be the gap right there, is that you're not creating and sharing from your own soul nourishment. And this is a mistake that a lot of experienced healers make. And we'll talk at another time about codependency and caretaking addiction and dopamine and all of those things that create the addiction to giving and serving, but may not be fully nourishing you. So your soul nourishment and your body needs must come first. And that's part of the Dharma business structure that I teach. So you need to know the difference. Am I sourcing from soul? Am I sourcing from body? Am I sourcing from spirit? Or am I sourcing from an outer authority? So a dharmic business structure has 3 spiritual components that have to be considered, and then 4 material world structural pieces that need to be considered. So first of all, transform undigested grief, losses, and any disappointments from the past. So we have to clean the pipes out. We got to clear it out. And that means grief work first. Secondly, the ancestral support. This is where I see a lot of people missing. You aren't fully aligned with your Dharma because you are not in right relationship with your ancestors. And the ancestors give us our Dharma. And without the ancestors, there is no Dharma. So we have to be in right relationship with the well ancestors and allow them to support us in this process. And next, we need to have a very clear offering. And we can only have a very clear offering if we truly know what our Dharma is and we're in harmony with our soul gifts and the ancestral gifts that we've been handed. So a lot of you are stuck on a clear offering and 3 phases of a dharmic business structure and 3 phases of pricing, which I did a class on last week. And it's simply because you're not clear on what your dharma is, and it's likely the grief and the ancestral piece in the way. So first we have to tend to this, then we get those 3 pieces in place for your low, medium, and high level offering, as well as low, medium, high level pricing. Then we can go into the structural material world things that need to be in place in order for you to scale and properly grow a 6+ figure business. I hear from a lot of you that you're stuck in a one-to-one business model and doing single sessions, and this is problematic. You will never grow a 6+ figure business and be able to scale beyond that if you are stuck in that kind of structure. And so first we need to do the inner work and get those pieces in place. Then we can go in and restructure the business model. So please understand that there is inner work that is required. The inner supports the outer. So when we're talking about the outer structural pieces that need to shift, that need to be in place in order for you to grow and scale, first of all, you need to know who your ideal client is. And again, your business coach has probably told you to go find an avatar and go do this market research and all these things to figure out who's going to buy your product or who's already in your field. And I have a very simple response and reminder for those of you who are walking a dharmic path, who are sharing a dharmic business model, and who want to scale your dharmic business model. And it's super simple. You are your ideal client. You don't need an avatar. You don't need to go out and try to figure out who this person is. You are this person. And that makes it really easy in a lot of ways because everything that you're sharing and offering comes from your own personal experience. And when it comes to marketing and sales and all of the educational materials that come with this process of growing your business, you know who you're talking to. You're talking to yourself. And you're talking to yourself a couple years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, maybe even last year. And you know who this person is. You know exactly what they need, and you know why they're struggling because you've already done it. You've been there. And you're walking this path, and you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to be a couple steps ahead of this person. And you know that you have something important to share with them that's truly going to serve them and support them on their path. And that's what makes you the expert, the guide. So your ideal client is you. Then we have to consider your pricing. And this is where I see people making massive mistakes. I did a class on this last week. I invite you to go back and listen to that. You need low, medium, and high level pricing. You need to make sure that you are not leaving money on the table, that you have a process that you're moving people through in order for them to blossom and grow through your resources and to really serve them in their growth. And that means that we have a place to put every person who comes who is a right fit and a match for you, who's in alignment with you. And it's low, medium, and high level pricing. You need to consider quite a few things with your pricing. What's your highest level offer? And, if you want a 10K month every month, you need to consider what kind of pricing is going to support you with that. And most of you are keeping your pricing way too low, and it's a confidence issue. You don't believe your clients will pay for it, and you are struggling to see your own value. That's where the work is. So again, inner work in order to support the outer. Next, we have to really consider marketing that works. And I prefer a trauma-informed marketing approach. I encourage you to use marketing that feels in alignment and in harmony. But there's also some very important key ingredients for engagement for building relationship, for building conversation and connection. And these components need to come into play. Over the last few years, the way that we market has completely shifted and has needed to shift. The same things that worked 2 years ago don't work now. One of the things that some of you are struggling with right now is that you have not updated your marketing and sales tactics, and you're falling behind as a result. And it's not that you don't have an amazing offering and you don't have something that will really benefit people, but you're 2 or 3 years behind. And if we don't keep up with what's going on in the collective and with sales processes and how people buy and the psychology of buying, then we will not be able to reach our people and move them into our process. And, over the last year, I have had to make major investments over the last 2-3 years, major investments in my business to upgrade my marketing, learn new skills, and continue to grow and develop with how things are changing. It's my reminder to you that if you are not investing consistently in the growth of your business and getting improved, upgraded skills and tools, then you will be falling behind. And that's just a reality of having a business. And so I want to invite you to consider how much you've invested in your business this past year, and in the new year, how much are you willing to invest in your business moving forward in order to make sure you have the right tools, the right resources, and the right guidance and support. Because if you don't, then you will keep falling behind. And for some of you, and this happened to me over the last few years, I had to really upgrade my systems in order to start reaching more people. So make sure that the marketing and the process that you have in place is actually working. And if it's not, then it's time to get new resources and support. Now, the final piece for your 6-figure successful business is your sales savvy. And this is where I see a lot of wonderful healers, very experienced, struggling. This is not your expertise. You may hate sales. You may not want to even talk about the money piece. And this is a problem. And I invite you to reframe sales. So what I mean by sales is, let's first of all make sure we have a proper system and funnel in place to ensure that we are a good fit, that I do want to work with you. And again, the reframe here is, this is about my needs first, and then I'm happy to invite you to join me in this process if I feel that this can be mutually beneficial. And in that way, we are having an educational conversation with people. I don't consider it to be a sales conversation as much as an educational conversation. We are determining, first of all, are we in alignment? Secondly, can my resources and tools actually benefit you? And if they can't, I'm going to send you in a direction that can actually serve you, or that I believe will help you more. And if I do believe that I can help you, then we're going to have a conversation around, what do you really need? What really is important to you? And how can my process benefit you? And how do I know that this process can truly serve you? That's a very different conversation than pushing or forcing or getting salesy in some sort of sales process. And it's also about making sure that you are stepping into more visibility, more power, more clarity, more focus. You know who your client is. You are ready for more of that client. And you don't lower your standards or try to be flexible and make it work for people if it's not the right thing for them at this time. So we have to know our work and our process inside and out. And then we're practicing how to develop this skill of what do you need? Can I support you? Is this the right time? And here's what I ask for this exchange. Matter of fact, that's it. And again, knowing your value, knowing exactly what you provide and the services you offer. And I always come into every sales conversation with a neutral and with an energetic tone of neutral. I don't know if I can help this person. Let's see. And a very take it or leave it tone. This is what I have to share. Take it or leave it. And I encourage you to work on your sales savvy. That's something we do in Dharma Mentorship. So Dharma Mentorship is open for enrollment as of today. I hope that this class today has supported you in understanding what the levels of spiritual and material steps that you have to have in place in order for a six-figure spiritual business, and the necessity for having these steps in place in order to scale. That if we don't have the spiritual and the inner in place, it doesn't even make sense to be talking about these sales structures or the pricing or any of it, because you're not in alignment, you're not in right relationship with your soul purpose and your ancestral contract. None of that will even make sense. And it's why some of you are having some material world success, but it hasn't really blossomed yet. And that's because we have a gap here between the spiritual and the material. Some of you are also in a transition. And what I mean by that is that it may have been working for a while, and your Dharma and your offerings may have been working for a while. And now you're at a transition point where what was working once before is no longer working. And you're being asked to upgrade right now. You're being asked to step into a new level of power and purpose. And that's where the resources in Dharma Mentorship can truly support you as well. So no matter where you are, I want to remind you that you are closer than you think, that this is actually a very simple upgrade restructuring process, inner and outer. If you're an experienced healer and you are wondering, why haven't I cracked the code yet on 10K months or more on six-figure plus business model? I mean, I'm an incredible healer. You've already had success so far, and it's like, why haven't I done this? And I want to remind you that with some simple adjustments, the channels will be open. The life force energy will be flowing. The money will start to flow, and it's not that hard. But we do need to make sure that these inner and outer structures are in place. And if you want more, please join me in Dharma Mentorship. This is a very special process. It's a spiritual business process, but it's rooted in Dharma. This means your soul purpose and really clarifying and strengthening your relationship with the ancestors and your lineage gifts. From there, we can talk about business structure and making sure the material world things are in place. So for those of you who are ready for faster and right structure and the dharmic and spiritual guidance necessary to scale and grow, please comment thriving below. I will follow up with you with more details about Dharma Mentorship. We are open officially today. I have 10 spots available in this very special process, and I would love to meet with you and see if this is a good fit, if this is an alignment for you and your body and your business over the next 6 months. And right now, this week, I have some really special bonuses that I'm sharing for those of you who join us in this process, including a nice discount and extra sessions with me and a wonderful guarantee for the next 6 months so that you are comfortable with joining this process, knowing that there's support and backing. And yeah, I'm happy to share all about that with you. So type thriving below and let's have a conversation. Let's have a chat and see if this is a good fit for you. See what you need. And of course, if Dharma Mentorship is not the right fit for you right now, I'll try to point you in the right direction and we'll get you on track. So type thriving below. I'll reach out to you personally and we'll set up a chat to talk, and we'll talk more details about what you and your business need right now and see if Dharma Mentorship and these extra bonuses are the right fit for you right now. All right, I look forward to meeting you. So glad to have you here in this really special group, and I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.